What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this video is definitely out of the ordinary for what I normally do, but if you've watched last few videos, you know I'm pretty excited about something, and that is I got my first trailer. This has been a huge, accomplishment of mine, as simple as it is, but it is a brand new 2025 model. 20 foot, so it's an 18-foot deck with a 2-foot dovetail back there. It's got the electronic brakes, the fancy thing's called a bulldog hitch. But yeah, we're basically going through it. I have already stained the deck. As you can see, it came pretty raw. If you watched the last couple of videos with the drift vent and stuff where I announced that I got the trailer, you just saw this was all just raw, just light brown color wood. My fiance and I, we went ahead and got this all stained up yesterday. Thought about filming it to incorporate into this video, but there was no point. It was kind of like a Sunday afternoon after church type thing. Like, just wanted to have something to do to stay busy, and it turned out great. So 2 coats of some stuff from Home Depot. I think it was like Olympic or Olympia. Looks great, and it should keep it nice and protected. She was out here watering the plants earlier. As you can see, she's got her own little oasis going on, and looks like it's doing its job pretty well of getting the water off. So right now I don't have a clear objective for this video, other than we're just going to be kind of picking away at some upgrades. I hope by the end of this video we're going to have this trailer box or tongue box installed. I got to test fit some wheels. I bought a nice Harbor Freight winch, 5,500 pounder, because really the main car that's going to be going on here is my E36 drift car. So this should be fine for that, and then maybe I'll rent this out here and there in the future. So it should be a strong enough winch to do normal drift cars and road race cars. I have some diamond tread plate left over from a previous job a couple years ago, so I'm thinking I want to use that to go right in this area where I'm going to be mounting this, to try and have that match the fenders, because obviously the fenders do have this pretty diamond plate as well. So I am really trying to take care of this thing. Again, my first trailer, my first big boy purchase. I've never financed a car, never done anything like that. I've always just bought everything cash and used and old. So this one, I'm really trying to make it last, because long-term goal, I want to get a diesel truck, enclosed trailer, all the race car dream stuff. So eventually in a couple years, this will be just a business expense, to the sense of like, I'm just going to rent it out and it's going to be in its own thing like that. So even when, as far as ignore this, I have a actual tire cover on the way, even customized with my business logo on it. And then I even went to the extent of just ordering some dual axle, trailer tire covers, just because we are here in the desert of Arizona, where this is what the sky looks like 360 out of 365 days a year. And the summer is coming up, and the summer is brutal. Anyway, enough chat. Let's get this thing opened up, because I have never installed one of these. I've never had anything to do with this. I grew up, outside of the trailer lifestyle, because I grew up really poor, so I never got to do, cool guy things like this. So for those of you older guys, or guys that just may be more experienced than me, give me some slack. I'm new here, may mess things up a little bit, but it's a good thing it's my trailer and not yours. The other thing I'm going to do, I do have my flux welder here. I can't really fit this trailer at my shop, just because of the way the parking lot is and how narrow my shop is, and also lengthwise. I don't know that I'd be able to get this inside my trailer to be building my tire rack / storage unit. So I'm really hoping that flux welder that was sent to us by BestArc can do the job. So this, other than the demonstration video of me unboxing the thing, will be the ultimate test for this thing. So this right here is one of the nicer Harbor Freight tongue boxes. So I'm pretty stoked on that. Let me set you guys down and get this thing out really quick. A little awkward to take that thing out, but we're doing all right. Now this guy is the style with the nice latch up front here, so give that a pull. Nice little hydraulic shock. We got plenty of space in here for tie downs. I still have to figure out where to put the battery. I don't think I want to put it in here, just for storage, and obviously the battery has to be like vented and stuff. So I'm probably just gonna get a universal like marine battery box and incorporate that somewhere around the winch, so the wire length is pretty short and kind of tucked away. I'm still undecided on how I want to build my tire rack. The more I'm thinking about it, depending on where this winch placement is, obviously I'm gonna try and center it up, but I'm thinking if I have the space, I'd like to get 2 to 3 tires wide on each side, probably ideally 2. And then build storage over that, because I thought about doing the tires up higher, but I'm also trying not to have this thing being too tall, because I don't want to cause drag behind the truck. It's already a V8 gas truck pulling a trailer, so it's like not the best fuel economy, and my ideology is if I can keep it level or below the roof line of the truck, then we should be okay. So I have about 50 inches from the top of the trailer right here to work with. So that leaves us about 25 inches of space because my tires measure about 25 inches in circumference. So yeah, bear with me. This video is gonna be a little all over the place, kind of a lot of talking, but yeah, this thing, again, I am setting this right here. So instead of just going flat, I am going to trim up the tread plate again to match this area where I want the box to sit, because I don't believe this is actually going to reach. Actually, you know what, it might, but also just having the hand crank on here, I want it to be fully out of the way. So I'm going to mock something up really quick and figure something out. Just found the first problem. This is a little too big from where the you know, the jack point is for this thing. So I'm probably gonna have to just take that one off. I'll leave it there just in case I ever decide to move that, but I thought about building a little platform up, but because of how deep this box is, I'm kind of short, so I don't want to have to be reaching up here and reaching down and over into it. So I'm thinking instead of building a platform to just leave this where it is, I may just run to the metal supply tomorrow and just grab some more. I'd imagine this is probably 2.5 inch pipe, and I can just weld one over here, so that way I can, you know, swap it around if I need to. Not fully set on that idea. I may just build a taller piece, but I kind of like that one more because then that still allows me to trim this up to shape to fit over here, and I still think that'll look nice. And yeah, I've moved one of these for a couple buddies before, so I know it's super easy. But yeah, problem number one, gotta find a workaround. So problem number two, let's try to get this winch on. Next day now, long-winded intro just for me to basically redo all this, but because of the unboxing and stuff, I didn't want to have to refilm the intro. So I've changed my mind. I figured out what I want to do. So to sum up, the issues that we had was the winch. I'm going to build a box, do all this stuff, and then mount the winch on top of it. So this stuff right here is laid out where I want to store it. I'll be backplating this, basically making a bar to run across here, and then using this as like my divider line. So this is going to be tire storage, thinking 2 stacked, and then this will be basically from this height over, because this fits in there just fine, and then I will build up cabinet shelf space from that. As for this, I took the handle off. I ended up making my own little adapter. So I just went to the metal supply store, found this 1/2 inch ID solid stock, and then I just welded a socket to it so I can just use an impact driver to run the trailer up and down. So that gives me the space I need. So the only other thing that I have to do is I'm just going to make a little support brace coming here to help support the box. That way the panel there is serviceable if I need to. This is sorted, and then that'll all work. So yeah, basically what I just said. But it's hot already. It's spring. We're skipping springtime here in Arizona this year. Super bright, super hot. Once I get the base of this made up, I'm gonna set the canopy up, give myself a little bit of shade. But just get cutting really quick. I brought some basic tools home. So again, flux welder, got my DeWalt chop saw, angle grinder, flat discs and stuff. So let's make the best of what we got and make something cool. Okay, so this is what we're looking like so far. I got this initial frame kind of tacked up. Pretty stoked on it. It's pretty level. The only discrepancy is just the board's warped here, so I'll just have to kind of tweak this a little as I go to actually finalize the welds on everything. But other than that, you know, we're looking pretty good. I did the 3 supports across, so that way it's also easier to lay the sheet on here, because I'm gonna essentially have to trim up probably. I got 2 of those 11 gauge. It's like a 4 foot by 2 foot. So I'll probably just trim them to fit slotted in here. And that should fit nicely. Past that, I'm still kind of brainstorming. It is freaking hot out here already, so my brain is not wanting to work today. But at least I know the canopy and the 2 chairs at least, and I can probably stuff another one of those style chairs in here too and scrunch it all up. But yeah, that's pretty good there. Essentially just wall this end piece off, which will be pretty easy, and then progress. I think next up I'm gonna try to do is figure out, yeah, probably the wall over here, get this sheet and get this fully boxed in for the most part, at least everything tacked up that I could. Pretty soon here I am gonna have to weld out all of these joints up here. I just put 4 tacks on everything just to make sure that we're solid, because I, you know, wanted to be able to move this around if I needed to weld it off the trailer so I don't damage the wood. But yeah, trying to figure this out. All right, on to day 2 of working on this thing. So I spent quite a while yesterday getting the initial box structure made. I'm kind of doing the tire rack side of this after all this initial structure is made. The only thing I kind of have made my mind up on is doing wood on all the corners, except for this panel here. I'll just do sheet metal on this one, just so I can tie in tire mounting stuff super easy, because I feel like it'll be sturdier than tying in the plywood. But went and got 3 sheets of plywood last night and some material, so thankfully got my dad over here helping me get this all cut up and stuff while I can finish doing the welding. Doing basically the full door on this section, and then I'll probably add like some little bottle, you know, can rack shelving here. Put a latch there. Again, this one's going to be service area, or this one's going to be the canopy and stuff. So this one I'm going to make a metal fold down door just so I can have the piece done. Plywood, that one's obviously metal because this is where the winch is going to get mounted, as well as the battery and stuff. But yeah, looking pretty stinking good, I'd say. So the rest of this is just getting wood lined. Just the service port here, so I can actually install, you know, access the winch, and then just cut a little hole out for the winch cable and stuff, so I can reach up and do the free spool type whatever. But yeah, flux welder, this BestArc holding in it super solid. Haven't even duty cycled this thing yet, which is awesome. But I'm gonna go ahead, throw some stitches on this piece here, just get that, you know, solidified. And I mean, past that, we're looking pretty good. Not mad at it at all. And I will be staining the wood, obviously, to match the deck of the trailer too, so that'll look nice. But yeah, get on the tire side of things. Probably just gonna make some angle iron come off to kind of hold the tires. Yeah, I don't know, I'll figure that part out later. This does not come naturally to me, so bear with me, those of you professionals that may have stumbled upon this video. So we got the majority of the wood cut out. My dad had to take off, so I will get to the rest of that here in a bit. Thankfully, a few of these scraps fits nicely on the side here. So a slight change of ideas on how I'm going to actually mount this whole thing to the trailer. Initially, I think I mentioned I was going to try and stitch it in where I could, and the only concern I had in the back of my head this whole time was, how am I going to change the wood later when I have to service it in a couple years? And so I just realized I can just bolt it to it. So only thing I'm going to change welding wise is I'm going to get some flat strap here in the next couple of days and just weld it to the frame or the structure, and then I will sink some like 3/8 Rivnuts and just run like 4 in each section there and just bolt it down nice and good. The only part that's going to suck is I want to run bolts to the wood now, so that way I can obviously bolt this in. Issue with that is I already have the sides drilled here, so yeah, I'm gonna get the drill out, and it's just gonna kind of suck. I can flip this over so I can drill through to get the pilot hole started, and then I hopefully should just take the hole saw to it. I have like probably a 3/4 inch hole saw at the shop I can use, because hole saws more or less kind of stay in the same area. Otherwise, a step bit, I'll figure that part out. Just kind of sucks. That way I just have a hole big enough on the top side to get a socket into, so I can sink the bolts down and then suck the nuts up from the inside. So what I'm going to focus on right now is blending in this side with the sheet steel that I have here. Unfortunately, I didn't, you know, think of that at the time, so I didn't make it to the dimensions of that, and I didn't want to spend an extra $100 to get a piece sheared for it. So I will just be stitching a piece together and just dealing with it, so it'll work. But yeah, after that, get the stain for the wood and stain the wood tonight. So there's not a whole lot to update with you guys until this side's kind of covered in and I got some holes drilled. But past that, now we'll see you guys in a little bit. Just winging this here. I know how to make car stuff, but anything outside of that, my brain just doesn't click. I don't know what it is. winch is all mounted up. Just gotta finish putting like the front guide rollers on, and then yeah, trim something up to kind of just allow access for this. This is weatherproof, so I'm not really worried about it. So I'm thinking the only thing I really gotta do is just keep everything that's in here covered, because that's gonna be all, you know, storage space as well. So maybe I'll just make this full thing blocked off and then just trim out just around right here, and then just make sure whatever I put on this area, you know, is just bigger and secure, like maybe battery and stuff. So cool beans, that's at least secured. Okay, a few days later now, I've been tinkering a little bit after, you know, I've been home from the shop. So for this, we got the winch section cut out, and then we're doing like a little door over it just to keep it sealed up. So that's cool. Right now, I gotta go take the trailer to go help a buddy out really quick. So good time to move this out. I'm gonna just paint what I can really quick, and then pretty much all the wood's cut out and stained, so it's ready for assembly. I gotta go get hardware, swing by Home Depot and get some hardware to bolt this thing up, and then I gotta weld the strap on the front to be able to then drill and bolt to the front of the trailer for this thing. But past that, and pick up some plastic caps on the ends for the open sections of tube. But other than that, yeah, I'm gonna just give it a quick coat of paint, what I can really quick, just using some good old Rust-Oleum down here in the desert. I mean, sure, I could prep this thing a lot more, but we don't have the rain and the water like a lot of you other guys do, so I'm not too worried about it. New Rust-Oleum can is kind of weird though. Not sure how I like this, but paint is paint. To the last bit of assembly work before we put the side panels on. Welding on these plates on the end. I just cut them from 10 gauge I had from doing the sides and the base here. Flux welder putting in some work though, not mad at that, but I ran out of wire with that much left, so had to make a run to Home Depot anyway to get some hardware, just because I didn't want, you know, it's closer than Ace, and I got an extra can of paint to finish painting. Just did a bunch of the yellow zinc stuff just to make sure I didn't have to worry about weatherproof and nothing. Again, not a wet climate, so it'll last a long time anyway, but yeah, this welder, definitely not mad. I still haven't even duty cycled this welder out yet. Like, I am genuinely impressed with this BestArc machine. Like, this thing just continues to put in the work. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish welding this out. I'm gonna drill some holes along there, and then I have to move this, drill the holes larger, sink some Rivnuts. I got just my Astro Rivnut tool here, so I'll just use a bunch of M8s. I got M8 hardware in there for shipping some of my parts that I make, so it's all good. Yeah, sorry I'm not filming a lot of this. I don't have my normal tripod with me, so the little GoPro handle that I have here doesn't really work too well as a tripod, but we're getting it done. So ended up last night just setting up one of the lights and then bolting everything on. It's definitely got its imperfections for sure, but just got the door on because I needed some help with that. So this is all good to go. Got the door here. I'm just gonna, you know, attach like a little hook right here just to catch this so I can hold it open. But yeah, this is what we're looking like. Looking pretty solid in here. Definitely pretty echoey, but yeah, looking good. Still gotta get a battery, but yeah, I'm thinking battery's just gonna go like right here. I'd love to get a small generator to power, you know, just maybe the welder or something, the little guy. But whatever, yeah, space there, and then I'm gonna build some shelves in here. That'll be, you know, off topic of the video. I'll do it after the video's out because I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but yeah, we're looking pretty decent. Probably throw just some a shelf or two on here to hold, like, you know, brake clean and, you know, WD-40 or something, and some maybe some shop towels or something. But yeah, nice locking latch at least, so like that, just like that. So we're looking pretty good. I'm just on to the last few bits right now. I'm just gonna mark this to trim it, and then I gotta still weld on stuff for the tire mount. And then I am just gonna go ahead and make the little flappy door here once the rest of this is all finalized. So we're looking pretty solid though. Not too mad at it. Also gonna do a little bit of caulking around the edges to keep it more or less, you know, weather tight. Not that we get a ton here, like I said, but just peace of mind. And then I'll go around, because of the unevenness of everything, I'll probably get some of that thin aluminum trimming, edging or whatever, and probably just screw that in. But overall, just definitely not too mad at it. Got to get a hook to also close the flap on this guy. But yeah, that's all good to go. Proper box. Well, this worked out pretty well. Ended up changing my mind, mostly because of how I wanted to attach it. So, dropping my sunglasses. But yeah, so now we're 3 wide, 3 wide. The only thing I think I'm going to use to attach these things is, I think I'm just gonna order some D-rings on Amazon, and then like some smaller ones, and just weld them here on each side, top and bottom. And that way I can just ratchet strap around. And that should work out pretty well. But I mean, minus doing that and then painting this side here, that's pretty much all I have left to do. I started drilling the holes for the putting the box here. I decided not to add the attachment because these 2 pieces are actually level. So it's fine. I just scooted the box over a little bit more, and I'm gonna have 6 big old bolts holding it in, but the drill died, so I'm waiting for the batteries to charge. But with that, you know, this thing's pretty much wrapped up. I mean, I'm gonna put plastic caps on the ends here when I go get material for a job I have at the shop, and then I have to re-weld the D-ring that I'm cut off over there. But I mean, past that, this thing's pretty much done. I know this video was a little, you know, more talky than it was worky because I didn't have my tripod and my other camera and stuff wasn't all set up here. So I mean, I think it looks pretty good for literally working with 3 tools and going full caveman on this thing. I mean, once again, we got the big door here. We have, I gotta finish staining this, but I at least got 1 coat on. We got the other door here looking pretty decent for the, you know, chairs and such. I'm gonna add 1 more hinge over here to make this a bit more sturdy because it's kind of drooping. But other than that, yeah, this thing's for a budget trailer, you know, storage build / tire rack. I'm really not mad at it. So if you did enjoy the video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, we'll test this out next weekend at the drift track once we have our next event, see how it holds up. I'll order those things tonight, get them welded on here in the next couple days, and get it just painted to kind of look a little bit nicer. But yeah, trailer's looking pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked on it. So thanks for spending some time of your day here with me. Again, I apologize for the lack of, you know, entertaining content on this one. I just thought it'd be cool to share it with you guys. And do what you love. For the rest, we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.